Loki, the Norse deity of tricksters. Described as playful, malicious, and nihilistic, Loki is one of the most well-known villains of Norse mythology. He has no symbols, as was common in his time, though he tends to be depicted as the patron god of thieves, swindlers, and other sly peoples. His familial relations grow a bit complicated, as do those of most gods and goddesses. This is not helped by the fact that he can shift shape and change genders at will. In general, he is said to be the son of 2 giants, or a giant and a goddess. He has fathered 5 children with 2 women. By his goddess wife, Loki has 2 children. With the giantess, Loki has 3 children, a giant wolf, the goddess of the grave, and a giant serpent. He has one other child as well. His blood brother's 8-legged horse was mothered by Loki and fathered by an actual horse. Loki is featured as the bad guy in many of the Norse tales. For example, in Loki and the Dwarfs, Loki cuts off the hair of the wife of Thor. To save his own skin, Loki then goes down to the halls of the dwarfs and asks them to forge a new head of hair for Thor's wife. The sons of Ivaldi obliged this request, and also gave him a boat which can fit into one's pocket, and the deadliest of all spears. Loki could not leave well enough alone. Before leaving the halls of the dwarfs, he challenged 2 brothers to craft 3 items better than what he had already received. The brothers agreed, but required Loki to place his own head on the wager. The brothers forged a ring that created other golden rings, a living boar with golden hair, and finally, Thor's hammer. Loki fled back to Asgard and presented the items to the gods. When the dwarfs arrived and demanded their payment, Loki pointed out that he had not promised the dwarfs his neck. The dwarfs sewed his lips shut instead. Loki's reckless and cowardly nature can be seen in the tale of the kidnapping of Idun. While on a long journey, Loki recklessly attacked a giant, Thiazi, while Thiazi was in the form of an eagle. The giant carried Loki away in his large talons, and threatened him with death, unless Loki brought him Idun, the Norse goddess of fertility that kept the gods young with her magical food. Loki agreed, and delivered the peaceful goddess to the hateful giant to save himself. When the gods noticed old age creeping up on them, they discovered Loki's ploy, and sent him to retrieve the goddess from Thiazi. He succeeded, but in the process killed Thiazi. This led to another story involving Thiazi's daughter, Skadi, and a very interesting incident with a goat. There are many other stories which feature Loki scattered throughout Norse mythology. The story for which he is the most famous is also the tale which shows him at his most hateful moment, the death of Baldr. Knowing that he was prophesied to die, Frigg, Baldr's mother, had everything in the universe swear an unbreakable oath to never harm Baldr. Everything except for the tiny, harmless mistletoe plant. Loki used this to his advantage, and convinced another of the gods to throw a sharpened mistletoe dart at Baldr, which killed him instantly. Further, he prevented the return of Baldr by refusing to weep for him. For his role in the death, Loki was captured and sentenced to horrific torture. The other gods forced his sons by Sigyn to kill one another, and bound him deep underground with their entrails. They then placed a venomous snake above him, where it would drip venom periodically onto his face, burning him terribly. Sigyn, always the faithful wife, sits by his side with the bowl to collect the venom and prevent further pain. However, when she goes to empty the bowl, Loki's terrible shakes and cries cause earthquakes. Loki will remain imprisoned until the start of Ragnarok. When Ragnarok, the Nordic cycle which details the death and rebirth of the gods, occurs, Loki and his wolf son, Fenrir, will break their chains and lead the giants in their war against the gods. As is foretold, the snake Jormungand and Thor will slay one another, as will Loki and Heimdall, and Odin and Fenrir. After this bout of extreme desolation, Baldr is meant to return from his stay in Hell and repopulate the world. References to these and other Norse tales and characters are found all over modern media. Halo players can read the novel Contact Harvest, which features two AI named Loki and Sif. Watchers of the TV series Supernatural can find Loki in the multi-episodic trickster plotline. Any who can recall laughing at the hilarious antics of Jim Carrey in The Mask may recall that the powers of the mask are actually the powers of Loki himself. The card game Yu-Gi-Oh! Features a card named Polar God Loki, and of course, who could forget the wildly inaccurate, yet amusing Thor and Avengers movies and comics. And now, a new Loki-based product can be found on the black market. Our research and development team at Loki's School of Magic and Mischief have discovered a new item that gives especially talented students the ability to change shape and gender at will, just as Loki did. This is dependent upon the student's innate abilities. Most people can only generate shadows to surround them, or make themselves unnoticeable. However, this has led to an unforeseen black market demand for the product. To prevent these illegal actions and help generate revenue, the college has decided to market the product ourselves. We can now happily introduce you to the Trickster's line of clothing and weaponry. This line features stylish designs for anything an aspiring student would require, particularly students who solemnly swear that they are up to no good. Our major product is a lovely cloak, perfect for sneaking, tricking, or simply staying warm on those chilly Scandinavian nights. It comes in many colors, ranging from the black of deepest night to the bright blue of a cloudless sky. Inside, it is lined with a white faux fur to keep you well insulated and prepared for any late night adventures. As an added bonus, the college has received special permission to include a free dagger with the purchase. This 14-inch blade is a must for any would-be assassin. It features a hardened mistletoe hilt and a stunning blade made of tinted and ruined mithril. All funds generated by the sale of these products goes to support the school in all its endeavors, and these products are available for purchase at any non-Muggle location which sells college merchandise. Mischief managed and sources cited. Thank you for your attendance at today's presentation. For any questions, please see the nearest school recruiter, or raise your hand now. Your narrator has been Graham, a British guy. Have a nice day.